looks like the last-minute checks for all the officials are good to go, and we are ready for great derby action. And they're off. Oh, a little bit of traffic there on the inside of the back for Cannibal Lee, but out in front, Cannibal Lee, lead jam for River City.
With number 625 out for Naptown, right behind. That's going to be L on Wheels, closely behind Cannibal.
Oh, a nice low move there. Cannibal Lee hit it and quit it, took the 4 points, and I think called it off. We'll see if it is 4. It looks like it might only have been 2 there, so.
Out next for River City, we're going to have Pee Wee Hertzman out on the jam line. Our jam line today is brought to you by the Plug It Up Podcast, a horror movie podcast about the monstrous feminine.
Maybe my favorite call in roller derby, 5 seconds. And we're off, and it looks like who we got jamming there for, oh, right to the outside is the jammer for Naptown. Oh no, held up.
It's gonna be Chapel Poen out there.
Slaying Mantis really closing the door on the outside lane. And now Naptown reforms and it pushing on through.
Pee Wee Hertzman out for lead jammer for River City River Rats this morning. With Chapel Poen still working their way through the backpack there.
Yeah, Chapel Poen now finally released and making their way as rapidly as possible around. We got both packs moving fairly quickly, though. Nice 4-point pass there, and a hit it and quit it jam again for River City.
Current score, River City River Rats 7, Warning Bell 0. Lynn Diesel out there for River City on the jam line currently.
And it looks like Blackout and putting the star on for Naptown. Oh, a little bit of standstill here as we work side to side. Lynn Diesel trying to work around the outside. Blackout doing a little jammer on jammer block in action. Oh, a nice hit on the outside of turn 1.
Big spill there brought to you by
Diesel
511. That's going to be Dorky that tried to take out Lynn Diesel there at the end. But Blackout is able to get through with a big hit on Janimal Cracker.
Yeah, Janimal Cracker not able to close the door for Blackout on the inside of turn 2. Blackout now making their way back around.
Lynn Diesel calls it off before any points are able to be picked up by Blackout there. Heading to this next jam, we have Tofu out on the jam line for River City.
Yeah, interesting jam there. An interesting decision on Lynn Diesel's part. Called the jam, did not get to score any points, but would rather score 0 points than let Blackout make up that ground and get back to the back of the pack. So we've got our 4th jammer out there for River City now. River City has been lead jam on every single one, and just as soon as I say that, we've got a lead jam for Naptown. That is L on Wheels out for lead jam.
Big hit by number 50 out there onto Tofu. With a cleanup there by 13-17.
Yeah, but Naptown's playing a skater down, a track cut called on their pivot. So L on Wheels from Naptown giving River City a little taste of their own medicine. Took the points and then hit it and quit it. Called that one off.
Cannibal Lee back out there again on the jam line for River City River Rats. Current score, River Rats 7, Warning Bells 4. Just getting started for the weekend here, with this being River City's first game of the weekend and Naptown's first game. Naptown's A-team was here in 2013 where they came and competed in the D1 tournament that happened at the convention center. We're happy to have them back. Looks like we've got number
Chapel Poen.
Chapel gets lead jammer, but Cannibal has passed her in the front. with number 205. That's going to be Ricky Bobby there going to the penalty box for this next jam.
It's 2 jams, 2 penalties on the pivots for Naptown. So Naptown getting a little bit of trouble early with these track cuts. I don't know if it's them going for the big hit on the jam or just getting knocked out of bounds, trying to make a hole, play a little offense. But 2 jams in a row now, skater down as Blackout puts the star back on for Naptown. So once again, another scoreless jam there. That's 2 scoreless jams in a row. These teams playing very tight. Nice move to the inside. Lead jam for number 95. That is Pee Wee Hertzman.
Blackout with a big hit on the inside on Country Jam. Gets through on her own. Pee Wee Hertzman comes around for that first pass.
And now we're seeing both walls kind of speed up a little bit. Maybe getting a little bit of racing out there.
Excellent O there provided by Country Jam. And Pee Wee Hertzman calls it off, securing those points before Blackout can pick up any more. Lynn Diesel out there on the jam line for River City.
And L on Wheels coming out for the 3rd jam for the Naptown Warning Bells. So a pretty steady 3-jammer rotation and a 4-jammer rotation for River City. Nice hit on the inside, 13-17.
Looks like we have some jammer-on-jammer action there with L on Wheels hitting Lynn Diesel out.
Yeah,
not committing to the run back, though, just yet.
Shady Lane was not about to let the jammer get to the inside, so really nice move and a pivot now. Looks like a penalty called on the pivot for River City, so
that'll be
Naptown enjoying an advantage.
Looks like the pivot for Naptown will also be going to the box.
Oh, and another skater now for River City heading to the box. Lots of penalties getting called. L on Wheels says, "I'll pay you no mind." Out to lead jam. Oh, easy. Making it look easy for L on Wheels is that move to the inside. Scores the 4 points and calls quickly.
Calling it off for a quick track advantage there with River City being down 2 players, I believe, still in the box. And Naptown down a pivot at the moment. Tofu out there on the line for River City River Rats. And it looks like we'll have Chapel Pone out there for our Naptown Warning Bells on the jam line. Both pivots standing.
All right, Country Jam, and it looks like who else is blocking out there for River City? Country Jam trying to do all they can to hold up Chapel Pone. It's a difficult, tall order to do with only 2 blockers. Now they get some, there's our pivot support coming back in. There goes into the tripod block on the inside of turn 1. Naptown's tripod doing some good work on the outside of turn 1 too.
Oh, but Shred Flanders will be going back to the box for River City. Fortunately, leaving their pivot down as Tofu goes up against the tripod here in the front, held by Naptown. Naptown blocker coming in to provide some O there for Chapel Pone, but unfortunately will be assessed a back block penalty. Big hit to the inside by Country Jam, hitting Chapel Pone and Tofu both onto the inside line there. Tofu tries to work up against a separated tripod here in the front, though, with Bad Lass also returning back to the box.
Yeah, that was 50 Shades of Gray providing all the defense on the outside of turn 3.
Looks like
and we finally get a lead jammer.
That'll be Tofu for lead jammer for River City. Shred Flanders released from the box.
I still haven't seen Chapel Pone make it out through the pack, and now Chapel Pone is through. Took the star off momentarily, thinking about a star pass.
Those star passes are brought to you by Station 2, by the way. Station 2 is one of our lovely sponsors for today. We'll take a moment to talk about one of our vendors for this weekend, Fist City Print Club, local skater-owned shop selling handmade skate-themed apparel and more. That's owned by our very own Pixel Whip and Eternal Glam Nation from River City, so be sure to go check them out. Current score, River Rats 14, Warning Bells 8, with Cannibal Lee coming out to the jam line again.
And while we got a timeout going on, we'll also shout out another sponsor, Sacred Roller Skate Supply, your source for high-quality skates and gear, custom builds, and community engagement. Queer-owned and operated since 2020, Sacred brings not only a unique passion for fostering a supportive environment for skaters of all levels and identities, but also industry-leading brands to support a safe skating lifestyle. Whether it's roller derby, park skating, rink, or recreational, Sacred has you covered.
Shout out to Team Zebra out there, our lovely dedicated volunteers that are not taking any contact out there, but they are making sure that we play safely and together. If you're ever interested in joining roller derby but don't necessarily want to hit anyone, reffing is an excellent opportunity to have the best seat in the house and watch the game while also making the calls for us.
Official timeout or official review? I didn't see. I think it says timeout, yeah. I'm tracking 14-8, so that's the score still. And while our official timeout continues, it's a good time to shout out Bingo Beer Company. Join us for an ultimate after party on Sunday after the final game at the Bingo Beer Company, 2900 West Broad Street. Sounds like they're running a pizza and beer special just for attendees and teams for this PBR tournament. So if you got nothing else to do on Sunday night, I know that's where I would be, at the Bingo Beer Company up on Broad Street.
I've never been before, but I've heard they have skee ball.
Bingo.
I've heard they have skee ball, which I'm excited about, but I have yet to confirm about actual bingo.
It would be too on brand for Bingo Beer Company
Sunday.
to have bingo at the Bingo Beer Company. That would be just too easy. It's Sunday night is the party, but you know what? You could probably go tonight.
There is an after
You could
party
probably go
actually
tomorrow night.
every night. Tonight's after party is at Don't Look Back. They have great tacos. Yeah. Gotcha.
We were sold on bingo and skee ball at the Bingo Beer Company, so I feel like I may have led you astray. I hope that they actually do have bingo, because if they don't, I feel like we will have disappointed some of our.
We can make a game up. I feel like bingo flashcards could be made within
We could
the next
probably
2
make
days.
some bingo flashcards. I've seen bingo flashcards for Derby, actually. So Derby cliche flashcards. So Jammer on Jammer is always, that's a great cliche.
Could always have one for someone losing a toe stop. I feel like that happens at least once a
At
tournament.
least once a game, there is either a broken skate or a toe stop that is out there.
Just a great time during one of these timeouts to also check all your gear, make sure everything's still attached the way it should be before we hit the track.
Smack, you sound like you speak from personal experience that it's always a good time to check your gear during a timeout. Are we scarred from a time that maybe we didn't check our gear and things happened?
Duct tape is your best friend. It is every derby player's best friend. And as someone whose gear is currently held together by duct tape, I will say that if you need any quick repairs, Sacred Roller Skate Supply, located in the back, is right there ready to help you if need be. I don't know if they have tape ready at hand, but they definitely have some great employees who can take care of your skates for you.
I mean, duct tape puts the track together. It puts your skates together. It's even, I've heard, an instant wound cauterizer. If you've never, no, duct tape doesn't work for wound cauterization, no?
So there's no bingo tonight, but there is on Sunday, which is when our after party's happening. So hopefully there will be bingo at Bingo Beer Co. for us.
So look at that. That is the intrepid skaters from Greenville letting us know that there actually is bingo at the Bingo Beer Company on Sunday. Thanks. Shout out. You guys are the real heroes right now. Shout out to you guys.
I feel like we might have our after party MVPs already stationed over here. They've already brought a couch. They're ready. They know what they're set up for this weekend. It's not a contest, but it is. All right, while we get ready to start back here on the track in a moment, we'll go ahead and shout out another vendor, Alter Go-Kart. Handmade patches, stickers, and prints. It's so gay and cute. They're located right in the back. Be sure to check them out. We'll be getting started in just a moment as this timeout ends.
Looks like Blackout getting ready to put the star back on. So 3 jammers for Naptown, and all 3 of them have jammed 3 times as we get set for this 9th jam of the game. Is that Lynn in the back?
It's Blackout and Cannibal.
That's Cannibal. Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's Blackout for sure. So she's also the first jammer to jam 3 times for you guys. And going into the 6th minute of our official timeouts, it's also a good time to shout out our EMTs. You know, knock on wood, we have not seen any injuries thus far, but God forbid there were some. We have an outstanding EMT staff ready right here to take care of you and all of our skaters should something happen. So shout out to the EMTs selflessly coming on out here and providing us their services and time. So we thank you for what you guys are doing here, supporting the PBR tournament.
All right, and we're back, folks. Hopefully you had a couple moments to get yourself a little snack. Again, concessions will be opening at 4:30, so in the next game, be sure to grab a bevy and some food for yourself. Jam is on.
Oh,
Ooh,
big hit
spill.
right at the front. Blackout, nice. Blackout lead jam, first lead jam for Blackout thus far.
I believe that was Ricky Bobby that just busted that front of the pack wide open there for Blackout. Cannibal Lee trying to some fast footwork, but is taken down by number 57 with a big hit.
Oh, Robin Daggers said, oh, no, you don't.
Now both of our jammers are out with Blackout in the lead. Cannibal close behind. Blackout makes the decision to call it off before Cannibal can pick up any points. Rats 14, Warning Bells 12.
So, yeah, a lot of the same action for anybody who was out watching Rocktown's Autumn Jam last weekend. A lot of the, lead jam gets out, scores 2, 3, 4 quick points, and then immediately calls it off. So, interesting to see if we'll get a little bit more defense as these teams kind of get into the vibe of the tournament and start playing a little bit more stand-up. And we see these jams run along a little bit longer.
Slow-moving walls here in the front with a strong 2-wall by Naptown in the back as Ella on Wheels pushes up on that outside, getting her lead jammer for Naptown.
Ella on Wheels doing a nice job after that initial couple of hiccups. Ella on Wheels is making a nice stretch of lead jams now, and Ella on Wheels getting the run-it signal, I think, from her bench.
And it looks like PB Hertzman has provided a Station 2 star pass to Shred Flanders, but the jam is called off after a big pile up there.
I think Ella on Wheels is actually going to get called for a back block running into the back of that pack. So Ella on Wheels heading to the box, I believe, and that means we may have a power jam. This power jam is brought to you by the podcast My Pussy is in Hell. It's your favorite gruesome twosome podcast, and from now on, I think, Smack, I'm going to let you read all of our sponsors for our Power Jams.
Someone has to do it, I suppose. Jam is on with Lynn Diesel for River City in the back here, working up to the front. Out for Naptown, it looks like we're starting on a power jam again, so.
And Rocktown's wall trying to get up. Oh, no, Rocktown's wall kind of hanging back, which is surprising since the Naptown jammer is in the box. River City, sorry about that. Yep, that's my bad. That is the River City wall that was kind of hanging back. Lynn made it through, though.
That's quite all right. Rocktown is my former league, and we actually have some former Rocktown players out there today, so you weren't too far off.
I'll tell you what, it's what happens when you're announcing tournaments on multiple weekends, and you're getting that negative transferal as Ella on Wheels now back on track, but recycled back to the back by number 89. That was Sigmund Feud. Big hit on the inside, recycling the jammer. And so finally we're getting to see a jam where we got just a long scoring points. And oh, just like that.
Multiplayer penalty on Painter Shine, unfortunately. Ella on Wheels has finally gotten out of the pack, but it looks like Lynn Diesel will be going to the box, which means we have another My Pussy's in Hell podcast power jam. Again, your favorite gruesome twosome. Ella on Wheels escaping with little issue, going up against a 2-wall here by River City. Naptown patiently waits for their jammer to return so they can provide some offense. With the entire bench just up and ready to cheer them on as they execute this movement.
So now that we've gotten both jammers into the box and back out, we're going to have the full 2-minute jam, which is the first time this game that we've actually had the full 2-minute jam.
It's a great opening there by Warp Speed, who's also retrieved the pivot off of the ground. Holding Lynn Diesel back, I'll mention, by the way.
And that is Sigmund Feud doing the Lord's work on the inside of turn 4.
both Ella on Wheels and Lynn Diesel are here at the front, but the jam has ended with a lead change now with the Warning Bells at 27 and the Rats at 22. A 5-point game now with 16 minutes remaining.
And that is definitely courtesy of that, both jammers going to the penalty box there. Ella on Wheels starting in the box, but having Lynn Diesel have to go right in the middle of that jam is not what you wanted. And, yeah, first lead change we've actually seen in this game as well.
Jam is on with Cannibal Lee starting out for River City here. Sneaking through on that outside line, making sure that she stayed in bounds, and she will be lead jammer again. Oh, but unfortunately, no pass, no penalty, so she will not be lead. But it looks like we have number 205. That's going to be
Is that
Ricky
a star
Bobby,
pass?
has
Yeah,
taken
star
off
pass.
the helmet cover. No longer eligible for lead. This will be a 2-minute jam, everybody.
So team captain for Naptown, Ricky Bobby. Nice move to the outside. A quick 4 points for Ricky Bobby. I want to go fast. That's what Ricky Bobby says. I want to go fast.
Cannibal Lee gets out again. Again, both of these jammers will have to go for 2 minutes, so we'll see if they want to keep up this pace and enjoy all this momentum that they're both gaining.
Oh, the River City Pack trying to hunt down Ricky Bobby there at the inside of turn 4. Not to be. Both jammers matching on points. Ooh, big hit getting thrown there.
Cannibal ping-ponged around a little bit in the middle of that pack, but gets through on that inside line again.
Shady Lane doing some nice work on the inside, trying to now come back and do a little bit of offense. Now to the outside, Ricky Bobby. Nice move for Ricky Bobby.
Bad Lass attempting to hold Ricky Bobby back before she gets out. Big hit by number 13-17.
That is Shady Lane.
Dominating on the track right now.
Yeah, keep calling Shady Lane's name. Shady Lane doing some good work on the inside. And now creating a little bit of offense as well. Shady Lane putting that hip down, springing an outside lane for Ricky Bobby.
Cannibal Lee gets a nice apex jump as one of Shady Lane, I believe, attempted to butt sweep there. 1 point difference on the scoreboard currently with the Warning Bells at 43 and Rats at 42. We'll check back in here in a moment to see if that score changes anymore.
I love that Ricky saw the time on the scoreboard coming around and was like, I am not going all the way back around to the pack. I'm right here in front of my bench. I'm going to take a minute. I'm just going to take a minute. Mm-hmm. That was great jamming there by Ricky Bobby to put the star on.
PB Hertzman going up against Blackout out there. A lot of movement. Blackout explodes out of the pack, though, opening up their own space. PB Hertzman attempts to get through with Shred Flanders getting some one-on-one there with warp speed at the front, trying to keep those pivots away.
Oh, an apex jump by Blackout there, I think, and Blackout almost landed it, but was knocked out of bounds and recycled. But I gotta be honest, I'm very impressed by Blackout's maneuverability and agility on the skates, much faster.
Another big hit there on Grim Possible by Blackout. With Naptown holding it down in the back, they're trying to slow down PB Hertzman, letting Blackout go on their own. Really amazing blocking from everybody.
Yeah, that's your third lead change there. We take the lead back for Naptown. Really nice apex jump attempt there by Blackout.
Have you seen the dancing rats out on the side of the track yet? Carrying around one of the River City players?
Yeah, it looks like that rat is carrying around one of the Riots, I think. That's Nat, maybe. It is Halloween costume time. Or is that's probably just everyday wear, I think, for Nat.
Jam is on with Lynn Diesel out for lead. Oh, not quite yet. Just kidding. Lead jammer. There we go.
There we go. Nicely done for Lynn Diesel.
Spoke a little too soon there.
Ella on Wheels coming back out with the star on for Naptown. I think we're seeing a little bit of the depth of River City bench here. So we've had only 4 jammers for
Robin
Naptown.
Daggers. Big hit to the outside line there.
And it looks like a potential star pass. Hell no kitty now putting the star on for Naptown. I think, yeah.
Tofu's out for River City into this next jam. We have another lead change with Rats at 49, Warning Bells 47. Still 2 more games remaining in the day. We are just getting started.
And both of these teams still have 2 more games this tournament, so it's important not to gas yourself on day 1 when you've got games on Saturday and Sunday.
Both jammers stuck in the back with Blackout patiently waiting, making some choices, deciding.
I think Blackout's waiting to see if their tripod will make some offense to the inside, and it did. The Naptown wall making a nice hole in that River City wall.
We have a Station 2 star pass to Shred Flanders.
Oh, massive hit there on Blackout.
Naptown shut down, unfortunately, Shred before she was able to escape the pack. Resetting for the next jam now with Pee-wee Hertzman out for River City. And it looks like Elle on Wheels will be staying on the track. Another timeout called, an official review for River City.
So an official review for River City there. I tell you what, Blackout got laid out there, hitting the back of the pack at turn 1. So as we get into the official review, it's time to shout out the Haunts of Richmond, one of our great sponsors, locally owned and operated, celebrating 20 years as Richmond's haunted history professionals. They do public tours, they do private tours, and they do special events offered year-round. Tickets are available at hauntsofrichmond.com. Check Haunts of Richmond out on your socials. If you got something else to do and you're not going to an after party, it might be cool to check out. Or maybe another weekend you're up here in Richmond, because the after parties are kind of that's kind of where I want to be today.
Speaking of ghosts, we have Ghost Girl Creative, one of our vendors today. Derby owned, queer owned, soft stuff, hard stuff, and dead stuff.
It's also a great time to shout out another wonderful sponsor, Equinox Counseling. Thanks to Equinox Behavioral Health. Explore, learn, share, and evolve. That is Equinox Counseling, a superior sponsor here for the PBR tournament, brought to you by River City.
Getting a little bit of track maintenance done out there. Again, shout out to our volunteers who are making this possible. Lots of them are skaters who are playing later on this weekend as well.
So it looks like Elle on Wheels is going to be jamming for Naptown again. I got to be honest, Elle on Wheels doing quite a bit of work for Naptown. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This will be the 7th jam for Elle on Wheels out of only 15 jams. So almost half the work for Naptown getting done by Elle on Wheels. We've also got Blackout and Chapel Pone. So between the 3 of them, a lot of work getting done between that trio of jammers, and it's probably no surprise we saw star passes on both of the last jams from Naptown. All right, so after that official review, let's let you know what it's going to be, because the result of that official review is actually a Power Jam brought to you by my Pussies in Hell podcast. So the Power Jam is courtesy of a penalty that resulted from the official review. So River City wanted a low block called on the Naptown Jammer as Blackout hit the back of the pack. That after the official review, that penalty was awarded. And thus we started with the Power Jam, and Lynn Diesel already through. Big hit there by number 13-17. That was Shady Lane. I'm calling that name a lot today.
Looks like we have a penalty being assessed on Slaying Mantis from River City. Blackout has escaped the box and is now looking to go through this River City tripod in the back here as Lynn Diesel is out fighting on her own towards the front.
Oh, Iggy Icarus making a nice hip check to recycle Blackout.
Blackout's able to pick up momentum and slices through that pack with a little bit of a inside line action there by Lynn Diesel, just getting bumped around by Robin Daggers out there.
Lynn Diesel's got a couple more seconds to get some points, and then, takes what they can before Blackout can make it back around. So River City's starting to stretch out that lead. Nice 10-point jam for Lynn Diesel.
Current score, River Rats 59, Warning Bells 48. Looks like we have Elle on Wheels back out there again for Naptown.
I think that's Pee Wee Hertzman putting it on for River City.
River City starting with one player down with the blocker returning from the box there as Pee Wee Hertzman goes up against a wall of Naptown skaters here in the front with some really phenomenal lateral movement. They attempt to reabsorb Pee Wee, but Pee Wee's able to get out and gets lead jammer for River City.
Oh, there goes Ricky Bobby putting a hip down and doing some offense, but now Ricky Bobby's actually putting the star back on. So second time putting the star on is Ricky Bobby, team captain for Naptown.
Currently we have Tofu coming back out on the jam line again for River City. And Chapel Pone for Naptown Roller Derby.
Chapel Pone taking a little bit of time off there from jamming. We haven't seen Chapel jam since the 8th jam, so a little bit of a break there. It's a pretty steady diet of Elle on Wheels and Blackout.
Jam is on as we see a little bit of offensive maneuvers from the Naptown players in the back here.
And there's Chapel Pone. Lead jam out now for Naptown. It's even more impressive that Naptown is doing this with only 11 skaters on their roster for today. So a lot of marathon jamming going to be happening for Naptown as this continues.
Lane, not one to mess with, by the way, knocks the Tofu to the outside with a big hit, but Tofu is able to give a Station 2 star pass to Sigmund Feud. Chapel Pone calls it off before Sig can pick up any points. Cannibal Lee's back on the track for River City as their jammer. Rats still holding on to their lead. Current score 59 to Warning Bells 51.
Naptown slowly chipping away, though. It looks like Blackout taking a second to work on some helmet technical issue there. Probably Elle on Wheels going to be out there. No, a different jammer, a new jammer out for Naptown.
Warp Speed out front.
There we go. Warp Speed is 1-for-1 lead jam, and that was some speed and impressive maneuverability to get out there.
Now, just watching Warp Speed as a blocker, you could tell that she's extremely agile and is able to cut through the pack with little to no effort from getting any assistance. Able to call it off and score some points, closing in on that point spread with now the Warning Bells at 55, Rats at 59. Just over 5 minutes left in this half.
So interesting to see from Naptown bringing out a brand new jammer in Warp Speed that has not jammed yet today. Probably working on some of that equipment issue with Blackout, because now Blackout back on the track with the star for Naptown. Interesting to see if we'll see more of Warp Speed for the rest of the day.
Lynn Diesel out there for River City, working both sides of the track, trying to get through. Going up against a two-wall here in the front by Naptown. Looks like that's Shady Lane, who again is just dominating the track today. Blackout is able to get out. Picks up lead jammer. With Lynn Diesel going up against Shady Lane, and I believe the pivot out there for Naptown.
Yeah, Shady Lane doing a great job anchoring the defense for Naptown. Blackout gets through, and it looks like, a penalty might have been called. A forearm penalty, I believe, was called on Blackout. So lead jam to the penalty box. That'll be a 2-minute jam now going, but it'll also be what?
It's a power jam, which means that this power jam is brought to you by My Pussies in Hell podcast, your favorite gruesome twosome podcast.
Lynn Diesel cruising now as Blackout sits down. And we'll see if River City's offensive wall starts working. You're starting to see Naptown's wall move a little bit forward, try to stretch it out. Shady Lane, swing and a miss on the inside.
Naptown decides to stay together, though, as they anticipate their jammer coming back soon. Blackout staring down Lynn Diesel in a little jammer-to-jammer face-off. I love to see it.
I love to see it, too. Jammer one-on-one. Blackout saying, I think I can do this, and did effectively bounce Lynn Diesel outside.
Looks like one of our Naptown players, unfortunately, has had to remove themselves from the track at this moment. Lynn Diesel still out there trying to pick up points.
Oh, no, another blocker called. I think that is a blocker from Naptown heading to the penalty box.
Seems like that is going to be a back block out there. And again, we still have a player off the track at the moment for Naptown. With the jam being called off, River Rats at 71, Warning Bells at 59.
So that is the second double-digit point-scoring jam for Lynn Diesel there. So back-to-back, it looks like an official review is being called by Naptown. So we'll get into that here in a minute. That gives you plenty of time to hop on up and check out one of our awesome merch tables. I think all of our visiting teams, and definitely River City, all have merch tables out there. Check on out, get some gear, sport something from your favorite team here that's skating at the PBR tournament.
Talk about one of our other sponsors for this weekend. We have Kinker Press. Thank you to Kinker Press for printing our awesome programs, which have all of the players' names in them, by the way. Make sure you grab one. Our People's Battle of Richmond tournament is also sponsored by the Fox and Lamb. Fox and Lamb. Up next, we're going to have our Greenville Roller Derby Apex Predators against Fort Myers Roller Derby, all the way from Florida.
Yeah, that'll be our first WFTDA sanctioned game of the day. So we've got 2 sanctioned games happening every day, trying to climb some ranking points up here as 2024 comes to a close. Greenville, Apex Predators, Fort Myers, River City Riot, and the Small Wonder Skate Club are 4 WFTDA teams that will be playing throughout the weekend to try to see if they can move themselves on up as the year draws to a close.
It looks like actually we have Fort Myers entering the building now, getting ready for their game.
Those are always
Fort
awesome
Myers.
games to watch. So they actually called that now a 15-point jam for Lynn Diesel. So Lynn Diesel stretching out to quite a nice lead scoring for River City.
Looks like we should be returning any moment now, with PB Hartzman going to be out there for River City as their jammer. 3 minutes remaining in this half. If you didn't know, we also love our fans here at River City, and we, out in the crowd currently, have a few folks that are all decked out for this thing. We always love to shout out Mr. Punky over there, who is by far our loudest of fans. But, you know, there's always someone willing to step it up and cheer just as loud, so don't be shy, y'all. PB Hertzman hit back off the jam line here by
L on Wheels. This is actually L on Wheels' 8th jam already in this first half. So 20 jams in, L on Wheels doing almost half the work here for Naptown. And now we get the jammers separated. It looks like that tripod doing a great job holding up Pee Wee Hertzman's knocked out of bounds, and in the same space, a track cut called on L on Wheels.
It looked really satisfying at first prior to the track cut being called. L on Wheels just took a little step over Pee Wee Hertzman while she was down on the inside line there. Now getting rammed back, Pee Wee will have an opportunity to get out. Pee Wee gets through on one skate for lead jammer here at the front.
Got it. Thank you.
But unfortunately, they will be assessing a track cut penalty, which means that there will be a jammer change out because again, both jammers cannot be in the box at the same time.
Yeah, L on Wheels was already standing up, so that means the bulk of that penalty was already served. that should mean Pee Wee Hertzman serves the majority of that.
I'm not sure that Pee Wee didn't make it to the box before L was sent away, but L was sent directly back to the box.
For a forearm
which
penalty.
Pee Wee will coming right back.
Oh, man. In the span of both jammers trying to get lead jam, they both got called for track cuts. And then Pee Wee, no, excuse me, that's L on wheels, right back into the box for that forearm. Oh, anti-counter derby.
Big hit there on warp speed. Pee Wee Hertzman's able to get out. Again, we'll be waiting for 2 minutes.
I don't think actually either jammer's going to score a single point. We'll see if Pee Wee Hertzman can score any points here at the very end of the jam, and did. So for all that 2-minute long back and forth with both jammers in the box, I think Pee Wee was able to score.
But it looks like Pee Wee also picked up a track cut penalty at the end there, which means that we'll be starting off this jam with yet another My Pussies in Hell podcast.
Oh, man.
Our favorite Gruesome Twosome podcast that is sponsoring this Power Jam. I really hope y'all paid good money for that sponsorship announcement.
Chapel Pone putting it back on.
I mean, I'm going to have to listen to their podcast.
I mean, you're going to have to. You're going to have to listen to the podcast. And woof.
Cannibal Lee out. Power Jam. Looks like instead was for River City. Or actually, I'm sorry. I apologize. It is not a Power Jam scenario anymore. Chapel Pone is out, not lead. Cannibal Lee calls it off on that first pass.
So extending the lead now, River City out 79-59. But, you know, 20 points is absolutely nothing. That is like, what, 1 or 2 jams maybe as we get set to start the second half. I bet we get one more jam here if one of the teams call timeout.
Clock is winding down. We'll see what the teams decide to do. Oh, but before that timeout can be called, halftime has begun. So we'll see y'all back in about 15 minutes. Again, River Rats 79, Warning Bells 59. And we'll see you back here on the track in 15.
Derby, so nice 15-minute intermission there, and surprise, surprise, L on Wheels getting us started with the star on for Naptown.
I recognize those knee pads out there. That looks like Cannibal Lee on the jam line for River City. And we're back with Rats 79, Warning Bells 59 starting off this second half of the game. Second game of day one here at the People's Battle of Richmond. Jam is on.
Oh,
Cannibal Lee
big
getting
hit.
ping-ponged around again at the front with a really phenomenal blocking there by Naptown's pivot. That's number 205, Ricky Bobby. Cannibal Lee escapes to get lead jammer.
And L on Wheels starts the second half going right to the box. So in the penalty box, the lead jam for Annabelle Lee and also a power jam brought to you by My Pussies in Hell podcast.
Really fancy footwork out there by Cannibal Lee as the Naptown blockers try to separate and hold them down after River City attempts to do a sweep formation there, providing some O for their jammer.
And I think this is exactly what River City was waiting for, is an opportunity early in this game to, or at least in the second half, to get a lead jam, and then a power jam just, makes it even better to try to stretch that 20-point lead out.
L on Wheels is come out of the box now and is trying to make her way through.
L on Wheels just now through the pack, and Annabelle Lee already on their third scoring pass.
Ricky Bobby just has Cannibal's number out there, really just sitting on her, but Cannibal calls it off, claiming those points before L can pick up any. Rats 89, Warning Bells 59. With Pee Wee Hertzman going out there. Looks like for River City, and I believe that is Chapel Pone. I could be mistaken, out there on the jam line.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. That's exactly the same jammer lineup that Naptown used. So L on Wheels, then Chapel Pone, and wouldn't be surprised to see Blackout coming out in the next jam for Naptown as well. 89-59, nice 10-point jam for Annabelle Lee, and now stretching that lead to 30 for River City. Looks like Pee Wee Hertzman, nice move to the outside.
Some great O there by Sigmund Feud on River City. That's our pivot.
Yeah, really able to seal an outside lane.
With a Station 2 star pass out there to Shady Lane for Naptown. Pee Wee Hertzman getting through on the outside line pretty clean again. And looks like Pee Wee will call it off just as Punky Bruiser is assessed a penalty. But unfortunately, Shady Lane was not able to pick up that point as the jam was called off beforehand.
So we were calling Shady Lane's name quite a bit in the first half with some really, really phenomenal blocking. So nice to see Shady getting a chance to actually score some points there.
Coming out into this next jam, we have Lynn Diesel, and I believe this is going to be... Oh, I'm sorry.
That is Warp Speed, I believe.
We've been excited to see Warp Speed come out as a jammer, just seeing how agile she is as a blocker. And of course, gets that inside line open and gets lead just flying out of the pack.
Warp Speed just so fast right now, just already back to the back of the pack. Oh, a great tripod block holding up Lynn Diesel.
Which, by no surprise, that's L on Wheels and Ricky Bobby out there, and Shady Lanes. That is a fierce blocking wall. Shady Lane calls for some offense from their team, gets those points and calls it off before Lynn Diesel can pick up any more.
I tell you what, Warp Speed made that almost look easy. Calling for offense quite loudly there on the inside of turn 2 and getting great response. A nice outside lane just appeared almost like magic there. So interested to see if we'll see more of Warp Speed jamming in the second half.
A little bit of a jammer change up in this next jam. We have Country Jam, a River City OG out there on the jam line, going against Blackout. Both teams trying something a little different in this second half. Country Jam is out for lead jammer with Blackout right behind.
Blackout is right behind, and now it's a foot race to see if Blackout can track it down. I'd expect to see the walls moving a little bit faster. Nice move to the outside for Country Jam.
Oh, so close. Blackout attempts to get it. Is not awarded those points, just by a hair, though. Really phenomenal speed coming out of that last one. We have Cannibal Lee and another Naptown jammer out there I don't think we've seen yet this morning.
Yeah, let's look at see who's wearing the star now for Naptown. Back in the back there.
I believe that's Dorky out there on the jam line for Naptown right now. Be able to confirm in just a moment. River City trying to lock down the Naptown jammer as Cannibal Lee's on her own in the back. With big footwork and avoids a big hit there. With Ricky Bobby, though, coming back to hit it, and Blackout tries to
Blackout does put the hip check into it. Recycles all the way to the back. And Blackout was almost headhunting there a little bit. We saw a swing and a miss on one hit to the outside of turn 1, but Blackout finally able to connect on the outside of turn 2 and recycle.
Dorky up there at the front going against Shred Flanders. Still trying to make it through with the star in hand.
Yeah, neither one of the jammers has made it through yet to start the scoring, so both defenses working very well. And now we've got, let's see, finally through is the jammer for Naptown.
Cannibal Lee calls it off for Darky can pick up any points. PB Hertzman out there on the line for River City with his fast-moving pack off the jump. And it looks like that's Chapel Pone out there again for Naptown.
Shady Lane trying to hold the defense down. Oh, and Shady Lane got trapped to the inside. That's PB Hertzman lead jam for River City. And now it's Shady Lane actually going to the box. So pivot back into the box for Naptown. Chapel Pone's going to be disappointed. Chapel Pone looking for that pivot to try to execute a star pass, and not going to happen, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately in that last one, I believe that was Shady Lane in the box as the pivot and was unable to pass. So the next jam will be started out with Shady Lane and Sigmund Feud from River City out there sitting in the penalty box. Both teams down a player.
Lynn Diesel getting ready to jam for River City.
And I believe that's Warp Speed in the back there for Naptown.
I like to see the jammers to get that running start, that start a little bit farther back, almost all the way, between turn 4 and...
Looks like Warp Speed is signaling for their team to get up to give them as much momentum as possible with a far start in the back. Lynn Diesel pushing this tripod up in the front, but Warp Speed gets through on that outside line for lead jammer. Lynn Diesel being held there by Ricky Bobby.
Second jam in the second half for Warp Speed. Second lead jam for Warp Speed as Shady Lane now rejoins. Probably coming to do a little bit of offense. A penalty called on one of the River City blockers. Let's
be Grim Possible going to the penalty box. Jam is called off. Current score, Rats 99, about to crack that 100, and warning bells at 71. Still 20 minutes left in the game.
So Naptown slowly chipping away, and I think they're going to have to do a lot more of those types of jams. Quick lead jam, get 4 points, call it fast. A lot more hit it and quit it as we try to get back into the bout.
Out there on the Plug It Up Jam line, that's Plug It Up Jam podcast jam line, horror movie podcast about the monstrous feminine.
And
Blackout's out.
Blackout's out as lead jam, and giving chase is number 1305 for River City. That's Country Jam, second jam of the second half for Country Jam.
A big hit there on the outside. I believe that might have been Shady Lane that hit Country Jam out. Meanwhile, while Blackout had some beautiful footwork on the inside and just kind of scooped their way through on that inside line. Going into this next jam, we're going to have Tofu back on the jam line for River City. And I believe that's L on Wheels for Naptown.
It looks like Naptown's given L on Wheels a little bit more of a breather after really putting L on Wheels to work. L on Wheels jammed 8 times in the first half. It was the leading Naptown scorer with 24 points. So I think a little bit of a breather, probably not only deserved, but probably necessary for L on Wheels. And just like that, I spoke too soon. L on Wheels says, I don't need no rest. I'm lead jam again. Tofu getting recycled to the back. Big hits happening at the back there from Ricky Bobby.
Ella on Wheels waiting for the no-pack call there at the front. And unfortunately, it looks like number 511, that's going to be Dorky, will be assessed a penalty. But Ella on Wheels is still able to get out as Tofu is reabsorbed into the pack. Going up against, it looks like a strong tripod here with Shred Flanders trying to provide a little bit of offense.
And Tofu is just not able to get past that 50 Shades of Cray and Ricky Bobby duo blocking. So a star pass potentially in the offing here as Tofu just really struggling. Meanwhile, this is exactly what Naptown needed to climb back in this game, is a strong jam.
Shout out to Punky Bruiser, who provided a big hit from coming out of the box there onto Warp Speed, the pivot for Naptown. Now with Warp Speed and Shred Flanders, who's received that Station 2 star pass, going head-to-head. Shred is able to get out.
So an interesting tactic, L on Wheels lead jam, but not calling it off. And it's actually star pass now, so Warp Speed now putting on the star.
Means we'll be going for a full 2 minutes, folks.
So Ricky Bobby now trying to do the work on Bucky Bruiser, not able to slam the door. So another point. So interesting tactics there from Naptown, passing off the star when holding lead jam. So we'll see if Warp Speed can continue to add to this scoring for Naptown.
A no pack is called just as the jam ends there. Currently, it is Rats 109 with warning bells at 90. It looks like we have a timeout from River City.
So yeah, that was exactly what Naptown was looking for, a 15-point jam combination between L on Wheels and Warp Speed. So really climbing back into it. Now only a 19-point lead for River City.
We'll take this time to go ahead and thank one of our sponsors, Body Arc, fitness that is independent of the noise. And of course, go and check out one of our sponsors here today, who's also vending. That's Sacred Roller Skate Supply. Sacred Roller Skate Supply is local, queer-owned, and we absolutely love them. If you need any kind of repairs this weekend or want to buy yourself a fancy new set of skates, go check them out in the back or hit them up in Northern Virginia at their store location.
We've got another great sponsor from Vinyl Conflict Record Store. I got to be honest, anytime we have a pun for a store name, I always laugh. So Vinyl Conflict, great one. Vinyl Countdown, I think probably would have been even better, especially as a record store. Anybody know? Does anybody want to do karaoke tonight? I don't know if they have karaoke tonight at the after party.
Not at this after party, but if anyone would like to go to karaoke, I can tell you exactly where to find some in Richmond. I will say, Vinyl Conflict is also owned by our good friend Bobby, who is also a phenomenal DJ. You can check him out at DJ Devolved. He's currently picking up records in Japan.
Outstanding.
Yeah.
Traveling to get some records, I like that.
Jam is on for this next one. We have Pee-wee Hertzman out there. Bit of a pile up, waiting to see who our Naptown jammer is.
A little bit of duck and cover on the inside wall there for Naptown. And I think that's Chapel Pone actually jamming for Naptown. Oh, one last attempt at a hit there from Naptown. Pedro Smashgal not able to hold back.
Looks like we have a Station 2 star pass out there to, it's going to be Shady Lane taking the star for Naptown now. But the jam is called off before Shady can pick up any points.
Every time I say Shady Lane's name, especially coming after that Vinyl Conflict record, I want to start singing the song, the Beatles song, Shady Lane. But I know I'm probably aging and dating myself.
Just got to save it for karaoke.
Yeah, I got to save that for karaoke. Between Vinyl Countdown and Shady Lane, I've already got quite the queue developing. Blackout getting ready to jam again for Naptown.
And Cannibal Lee's out there for River City. Blackout just coming in with full power and just burst through the pack there and is able to get lead jammer for Naptown. Cannibal Lee taking on that outside line with this phenomenal two-wall by Naptown, trying to slow her down, but they are unsuccessful as Blackout comes around for that first pass.
Yeah, fancy footwork by Cannibal Lee there on the inside of turn 2, able to just very quickly sidestep over Ricky Bobby's block. Not able to score any points, though. Blackout doing a great job getting lead jam. I would say Blackout's probably getting lead jam, 2/3 of the time that they're putting on the star, and, very fast, really bursts out of the pack and back around. Some surprising speed, kind of almost as fast as warp speed, I think, there, as we've seen.
I have a suspicion that someone lost a piece of their wrist guard, as I just saw a piece of plastic get chucked off the track. It's a great time to remind skaters to check all of your gear. Jam is on as we have Lynn Diesel out for River City.
Duct tape will fix everything, including your broken wrist guard.
And Chapel Pone's out there again for Naptown, picking up lead jammer.
Outstanding blocking here by the pivot, Shady Lane, really holding up Lynn Diesel and actually making some nice offense for Chapel Pone as well.
And I believe that's Shades of Cray that's just picked up a forearm penalty, unfortunately. So Naptown will be starting down one skater in this next jam.
But still able to do some damage. Hit it and quit it again is Chapel Pone. Let's see, I think that was probably 3 points. 3 or let's see how many we get. Only 1 point. Hey, every little bit counts. Only 18-point difference now between these two teams halfway through the second half of this game. It's L on Wheels. We've seen a lot of L on Wheels jamming today, and that's Country Jam, third time out, third lead jam. Country Jam looking great out there. That's the 3 for 3, I think, on lead jams for Country Jam.
And a Station 2 star pass out there to Blackout with L on Wheels taking it off, but Country Jam is able to pick up a few more points and calls it off.
So River City giving Naptown a little bit of their own medicine, getting 4 points and then calling it immediately and just recycling. So just slowly but surely putting the pedal to the metal and grinding out points. I think Shady Lane is actually going to start with the star now. So we've seen Shady Lane doing quite a bit of blocking, being a pivot a couple times, getting a star pass, a Station 2 star pass, but now actually starting to jam. It's kind of interesting.
All smiles here between these two jammers with PB Hertzman out there on the line for River City. We love to see it when both jammers are able to come onto the track ready to play, but also having a great time with one another. Shady Lane going up against Janimal Cracker there with some offense by number 57. That's going to be Robin Daggers again, opening it up for their jammer. PB Hertzman working on getting out as well and finally escapes the pack as Shady Lane comes back to pick up some points.
Oh, 50 Shades of Cray made a great offensive hole to the outside for Shady Lane. You could definitely tell they've practiced that move quite a few times.
Shady called it off mid-pack, too, in that turn, making sure that her hips passed the opposing player before she called it off, just to make sure she got those additional points. We have Cannibal Lee back on the track here. And I believe that's Dorky out on the jam line again today.
Almost a whip there from 50 Shades of Cray for Shady Lane, entering the back of that, outside of that pack, coming around. Nice to see. And Dorky only the second time putting on the star today for Naptown. A little move to the outside. I don't think Cannibal Lee needs the offense. They are fast enough to juke and drive their way in. Ricky Bobby says...
Hell No Kitty, unfortunately, has picked up a penalty, and not quite sure what that one was for, but up until that point was trying their best to hold that Cannibal Lee. And Cannibal has unfortunately assessed a track cut penalty, which is going to allow number 511, that's again Dorky, getting out as lead jammer, I believe, for the first time today.
That is the first time for Dorky. I think they called a multiplayer block, actually, between Hell No Kitty and Ricky Bobby. So Hell No Kitty, unfortunately, just getting the losing end of that one.
L on Wheels goes in to give that initial O with Warp Speed, clearing Grim Possible out of the way.
Way to get low. Warp Speed did a great job getting low there and opening the inside line.
And Dorky calls it off. That means we're going to be starting again with another Power Jam. This Power Jam will be brought to you by My Pussies in Hell podcast, your favorite Gruesome Twosome podcast, and apparently my favorite sponsorship announcement of the day.
We've definitely shouted them out quite a few times. A lot of Power Jams in this bout today.
I'm not saying it feels intentional, but it feels a little intentional. Seems to be a lot of Power Jams today.
Well, Chapel Pone with the power start for Naptown.
Jam is on with Chapel Pone going up against Country Jam on that inside line.
And everything getting plugged up there at the plug it up jam line.
Cannibal Lee escapes the box and is able to get lead jammer from the box.
Oh, so demoralizing when the jammer starts in the box and then is able to come on and get lead jam. That's some really good work by the River City defense.
And Chapel Pone will be unfortunately picking up a track cut penalty, which means we again have a power jam brought to you by My Pussies in Hell podcast.
See, now it feels intentional.
It does feel
now
intentional.
It does feel intentional.
I'm going to have to listen to it after this, y'all. I have to.
I think I'm going to have to sign up for it, yeah.
Sign me up for their Patreon immediately.
Hannibal Lee definitely getting the run at signal. Not that they have a choice. They're going to have to run the entire 2 minutes anyway. Oh, a huge block.
That was Robin Daggers, who every time we've called her name, it has been for some phenomenal big hit.
It was dangerously close to a forearm there, but I think Daggers did get the shoulder down enough. But yeah, an enormous hit right on the inside of turn 3. Cannibal Lee now, ooh, a swing and a miss there by Shady Lane. Thought that we were going to see another big hit connection.
Chapel Pone stuck in the back here against Iggy Icarus, who's bumped them to the inside and is going to choose to run them back.
Yeah, Iggy, nice job recycling.
Cannibal Lee looks at the scoreboard to make some decisions.
And it looks like a possible star pass. Yes, that is a Station 2 star pass now. Shady Lane getting ready to put the star on. And with only 5 seconds left, we'll see if the walls start moving a little bit faster.
Currently trying to see how many points they just picked up, as that was a 30-point spread at 1 point just now. Currently, the River Rats are at 137 to Warning Bells 103.
Well, a 20-point jam from Cannibal Lee is going to do that, so yeah. Looks like a timeout being taken by Naptown. Just under 10 minutes left, coming up on the 16th jam of the second half. And if River City wanted to respond to some of that, like, L on wheels jamming, that was exactly what the doctor ordered right there. Another great time to shout out one of our PBR tournament sponsors, Heartfelt Tattoo. We have these tournaments like this, probably once a year, and they're just not possible to put on, to have these teams travel, to have the volunteers, to have the setup, the merchandise, the concessions, to have everything run as smoothly as it does. Takes a lot of effort from our volunteers and sponsors still. A great shout out to Heartfelt Tattoos and all of our wonderful sponsors here for the PBR tournament.
We also have a lovely raffle going on. If you have not checked it out yet, you can always go visit by our merch table, and they'll point you in the direction of skaters that are giving out those raffle tickets. But we have lovely prizes, including one that's here based in Richmond with lots of fun things to do. Be sure to go check them out. And while you're over there, you can also hit up one of our vendors, Tilted Head Curios, Derby-owned dead stuff, ethically made oddities and art, queer-owned. And I believe that is owned by one of our very own Sweets, place for the River City Riots. Pee Wee Hertzman is hit to the inside there by number 205.
Ricky Bobby.
Number 789. That's going to be Hell No Kitty on the jam line, I believe, for the first time
That is
today.
Hell No Kitty, yeah. We saw Hell No Kitty jamming once earlier on a star pass in the first half. It's the first time we've seen Hell No Kitty start jamming. Meanwhile,
Big
lead
hit.
jam
Chest to
for
chest
River City
Mantis.
again.
Slaying Mantis tries to hold Hell No Kitty back for quite a while as Pee Wee Hertzman makes their way back around. You can already really tell that Hell No Kitty must be a very agile skater, as well as even with the blocking, she's been able to cover the track very efficiently. Split and I were discussing earlier about how there is a smaller roster for Naptown, but one of the benefits of that is that everybody plays every position, and then everybody's endurance is always amazing.
Yeah, you definitely have to have that kind of endurance because you're only going to roster 11 skaters for a 3-day tournament, and you're kind of seeing a little bit of a wear down. You saw Grim Possible just putting a great block on Ricky Bobby to the inside. So you're starting to see a little bit, I think, of the Naptown blocking walls just getting, really, for lack of a better term, just getting hammered, I think, by fresh legs on River City's side.
Country Jam going up against a 2-wall here in the front as the jammer for River City. No pack is called, so Country Jam will be assessed. The lead jammer with Blackout getting a beautiful shirt whip there off a Shady Lane to escape the pack.
And Shady Lane doing a lot more offensive blocking in this second half. Country Jam, though, 4 for 4 lead jams in the second half.
Big spill there by Shades of Cray, who took a tumble on the outside line, but was able to land back upright. Quite a point spread now as we have just over 7 minutes left in this game, with Rats at 144 and Warning Bells at 103.
So we're seeing Iggy Icarus and Grim Possible getting ready to jam together, or block together. And we've seen a little bit of that Grim Possible offense opening up some holes in the Naptown wall. And I think that's probably also part of the reason you're seeing Country Jam, you're seeing Cannibal Lee able to kind of stretch away. But just like that, ripping through is team captain Ricky Bobby.
Lynn Diesel just slipping past Hell No Kitty there on that outside. Ricky comes in with a lot of power and tries to pick up some points and calls it off before Diesel can pick up any more points.
So I think Ricky was looking for a little more offense on the inside there, but getting knocked out of bounds, having to recycle, really killed the momentum that Naptown had running into the back of that pack. Chapel Pone getting ready to jam again for Naptown. I think that's Pee Wee Hertzman. Slowly but surely, Pee Wee's turning into the lead jammer now. We've seen lots of Pee Wee in the second half, and we've seen Lynn Possible taking some more of the pivot role.
Strong tripod in the front here trying to hold back Chacalpone by River City, and Pee Wee Hertzman going head-to-head there with
Shady Lane.
Shady Lane in the
Yeah,
front.
that is Shady Lane. Watching Shady Lane go inside all the way to the outside with the hips and cycling Pee Wee all the way into turn one. Chapel Pone now sprung loose and out as the lead jam for Naptown.
Pee Wee Hertzman has removed the star, trying to decide if they'll be able to get through on their own or if they'll need a little help from their friends, with a Station 2 star pass to Tofu, number 13 for River City.
Sigmund Feud doing a nice job trying to break up that pack, make some holes for their own jammer. Star pass comes to no effect as Chapel Pone takes the points. Now a 33-point lead for River City with just over 5 minutes left in the game.
It has to be said, too, that, again, we had Cannibal Lee with a 20-point jam at one point during this game, really solidifying that lead for River City.
Yeah, that came right on the heels of the L on Wheels Warp Speed, 16-point jam. So that was exactly the answer that River City needed to come back after that big Naptown jam. Oh,
Cannibal
big
Lee
contact
against Warp Speed. Now, this is a jammer pairing I've been wanting to see with two very spry, very fast, agile jammers out there. Warp Speed is out as lead jammer as Cannibal Lee goes head-to-head against this tripod of really phenomenal blockers from Naptown.
Yeah, that's team captain Ricky Bobby and L on Wheels doing a great job trying to anchor that defense. Really nice job holding up Cannibal Lee so that Warp Speed could score 4 points and call it off.
Current score, Rats 144 to Warning Bells 115. 4.5 minutes remain.
I think Dorky getting ready to jam again for Naptown.
And hey, in this next game, again, we have Fort Myers Roller Derby going up against, I believe,
Should be the Greenville Apex Predators. So I believe it's Greenville Apex Predators and Fort Myers Roller Derby, our first sanctioned game of the day.
we saw Greenville play earlier today with their B team, the Bridge Trolls, and they had a fantastic showing, and at the last minute we had Twin Valleys kind of really take the win there at the last bit. But we'll get to see the Apex Predators from Greenville go out next against Fort Myers Roller Derby, who I believe is the #1 seed for the weekend.
I believe you are correct.
But that being said, our concession stands open at 4:30 and will be open till 8:30. So during this next game, it's a perfect time to go and get yourself a snack and eat some good food, get revitalized for the next game so you can cheer all these players on.
I think that's actually Robin Daggers putting on the star for Naptown. So Robin Daggers has not, I believe, started as a jammer until just now, and I think that's Country Jam I don't want to jinx it, but Country Jam so far, perfect 4 for 4 on lead jams.
No surprise there at the beginning of that. We did see a little jammer on jammer hit from Robin Daggers, who has been known to be that blocker out there, just kind of taking those hits every chance she gets, really knocking people down.
Yeah, we've seen Robin Daggers pivoting quite a bit today, and
Country
now good to
Jam
see him
going
out as a
against
lead point
Blackout.
scorer. Oh, Shady Lane doing the Lord's work. Oh, not able to hold back Country Jam. Country Jam now perfect 5 for 5 lead jams.
Do you like how she looked back at the jam ref just to make sure she stayed
Just
in
to
bounds?
make sure. She did stay in bounds, though. Impressive work up on the toe stops. And Shady Lane did everything that they could to try to hold it up.
Robin had removed the star at first and then puts it back on, with Country calling it off after an attempted apex jump. Just over 3.5 minutes left in this game.
Every point counts now for River City, though, just stretching out that lead. So, yeah, 5 for 5 lead jams for Country Jam. So, after not seeing Country Jam putting the star on at all in the first half, it's been a really nice surprise to see in the second half a really strong, fresh-legged jammer come out and kind of take control whenever they're on the track. Looks like team captain for Naptown, Ricky Bobby. I want to go fast, and fast it is. Fast to the inside. Tiptoeing on through for a lead jam.
Lynn Diesel's removed the star and is still trying to get through with going chest to chest against Blackout. And Blackout looks towards those refs for a high block call, but is not assessed one.
Warp Speed opening up a nice hole, cycling back around. Another nice hole opened up by Warp Speed. So really impressive offense there for your team captain, Ricky Bobby. That's a good duo. I can only do so much. Yep. So looks like a timeout is called here with just about 2 minutes. 2 minutes left. So I bet we get maybe 3 more jams with Pee Wee Hertzman putting on the star now.
4.
Maybe 4. Yeah, who knows? If they keep, getting through and calling it immediately, we could get 4.
Well, we've got a chance. We'll go ahead and talk about one of our sponsors for the rest of the game. It'll be Tri-City Gastro. Don't let colon cancer knock you down. Get your screening colonoscopy starting at age 45. They're also our locker room sponsor today. From top to bottom, they have you covered. Their gastroenterologist, it's a butt joke.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. I got to hand it to him. 45, that's even younger than I thought. That is, what's the saying? Time comes for us all.
Seems like a great time to also remind everybody that it is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And if you're over the age of 30 as a woman, you should definitely go get yourself checked out. And get a screening done as soon as you can.
Oh, this is what I wanted to see. Warp Speed putting on the star. So we've seen a steady diet, more of Warp Speed jamming and then pivoting, always as a backup emergency jammer. So Warp Speed electing not to get a running start approaching this jam. But nonetheless, fleet of foot able to cut to the inside. Lead jam for Naptown.
Warp Speed just living up to her name as she got out, and I didn't even see how she did it. She was out and she was lead. Calls towards her pack to play a little bit of O and open it up for her, and she gets a slight apex jump on that inside line as Pee Wee recycles back and is stuck behind a few of our Naptown blockers out there, going up against Blackout, and is able to escape as well.
Blackout able to hold it up, but not after the recycle of Shady Lane. So Shady Lane and Blackout.
Beautiful offense by Shades of Cray there on that outside line, too, just clearing it there for Warp Speed.
Yeah, pristine 8-point pass for 8-point jam for Naptown. It's exactly what we were expecting to see after we saw that offense coming in there from Shady Lane.
Looks like we have Cannibal Lee out there for River City.
And that is team captain Ricky Bobby. I want to go fast. I want to go fast. Ricky Bobby also able to go lead jam quite a few times that they've actually stepped up and put the star on for Naptown.
Jam is on with both of these skaters starting on the Plug It Up podcast Jam Line, a horror movie podcast about the mysterious feminine. Looks like we have Bad Lass trying to stop Ricky Bobby with Cannibal and Ricky really neck and neck there at the end, but it looks like, I believe that's Ricky as our lead jammer. Ricky calls it off, deciding not to play with Cannibal, just not in the mood for that right now.
Yeah, no one has time to get to a foot race at this point, and both of the walls definitely accelerated away. So it was going to be a foot race for 2 minutes, or it was going to be nothing at all. So smart choice for Ricky Bobby to call that one off.
And this is most likely, there's always a chance for one more, but this is most likely our final jam of the game.
I bet this is probably our last jam, so if you are in the building, make some noise. Get ready for this final jam. There we go. I think Ricky Bobby just was like, no, I'm keeping the star, and of course Ricky Bobby threw.
Ricky Bobby out there, lead jammer for Naptown. Let him hear it. Big pile up as Country Jam takes a Station 2 star pass, puts the star back on.
So I wonder if Ricky Bobby went out there just to keep Country Jam from getting a perfect streak of lead jams, because up until that point.
Oh, but it looks like Country will be assessed a penalty. However, that was the final jam, so should Country serve for penalty, it would have been a back block, but we will be updating you on that final score in just a moment with our MVPs for Game 2 of the People's Battle of Richmond. All right, we have our final score, folks. For our second game of the day, it's going to be River City River Rats 147 to Warning Bells 127. 20-point game. Great job from folks. And we have our MVPs for this game. For River City Roller Derby, your MVP jammer will be Cannabelle Lee. And our MVP jammer for Naptown Roller Derby will be L on Wheels. You want to do blockers? Country for blocker and Shady Lane.
And now for our MVP blockers for River City, Country Jam. And for Naptown, our MVP blocker, no surprise, Shady Lane.
That's it for me today, y'all, but we have our next game against Fort Myers. I'm sorry, it's going to be Fort Myers against the Greenville Apex Predators. We saw their B team play earlier. Now their A team will be taking the track.
Yeah, it looks like 40 minutes away from our first sanctioned game of the day. Greenville Apex Predators and Fort Myers Roller Derby. Concessions will be open here about the same time that our third game gets started, so we will see you right back here in 40 minutes for more Derby action. Shady Lane, Country Jam, L on Wheels, and Cannibal Lee. We've got your MVP awards right here at the announcer's table. If you'd like to collect them, come on over and get your MVP blocker, MVP jammer patches.